Hello and welcome to Cork in the North podcast. I'm Andrew Ryan, your host. I'm from Cork and I'm living in the North, and this is a new episode this week. We're in the studio. We're currently designing the studio. Things are going to get bigger and better with all this. So thanks very much for watching and listening. We've got William Thompson, comedian here in Belfast, who's our guest. Please subscribe, share and like the usual. You're all adults. You all know what you're doing. Thank you. William Thompson, comedian. Nice to meet you. I never met you before.
No, that's the first time I've ever met you.
I've heard you,
Yeah,
from the streets.
Yeah.
I've seen you. I saw you do stand-up on the BBC Comedy Award thing.
Ah, yes.
Is that your first time doing telly?
That's the first time I've ever done TV.
How did you feel a difference from doing a club gig to a TV gig is?
The 10 hours beforehand, where you're dicking about.
Oh, it's horrendous.
I see when you get into stand-up, you're like, I want to do TV. That's where everything is. TV's the goal. And then you do TV and you're like, I hate this.
Nah. They're different gigs, aren't they?
They really are.
Because the audience are self-conscious as well, because they know that they potentially could have their face on camera.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not saying they're not comedy audience, but they're free tickets.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming to watch a show that's for TV.
Yeah.
They may not be coming to watch a particular...
And there's a lot of that stop and start and stop this and start that, whereas the show doesn't just run through.
I remember the first time I did TV. So this was your first TV show?
Yes, ever, yeah.
On the BBC, not bad. I saw it. I went out on BBC One in 11 o'clock at night or something.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was the Northern Irish heat of the new comedy award. Yeah. I hosted the... I actually won the Northern Irish heat when I did it.
Oh, really?
And I hosted the Northwest heat as well the following year.
Oh, shit.
And instantly, without cameras, the gigs were rocking. And then the minute you put a camera in, you're like... Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is, though.
Yeah,
It's all set up differently. And also, you just got to accept lesser laughs.
Yeah. You have to hide, and the camera's rolling, so you have to hide the pain on your face, so if that didn't work.
I remember the first time I did a TV show, I did Russell Howard's Good News on BBC Three, and I got booked to do the guest spot. You know, he has a guest spot.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes, you do 20 minutes, and it's edited down to 15.
Right.
So... you send in your script, you know, what you're going to say and what you can and cannot say. I'll go down and do the show. I'm bricking it.
Yeah.
Me and my brother went into Camden that morning to buy clothes. You know, I was like, oh, I'm going to buy new clothes for this. And it just wasn't comfortable. You know, I was wearing, you know the way if you like wear new shoes?
Yeah.
You kind of have to break into them.
Yeah.
And in new shirts, like there's a different feeling on your skin and
you're
all this kind of
awfully stiff.
Yeah, you're just a bit like more conscious about how you look like, or how you're going to come across rather than the content and material. But anyway, you do a rehearsal and they say to you like, you know, when do you want your light? And I'm like, oh, give me a light at like 18. And they're like, right, this is the light you're going to get. It's a red light. And when you see that light, you know you have 2 minutes left. And I said, at 21, flash the light. So I know that I've gone over, but at least I've given you enough.
Yeah.
I'm doing the show anyway, and about 14 minutes in, I see this red light. And I went, oh, I'm done now. Brilliant. I looked at the wrong light. So I walk off, thinking I've done 20 minutes. And the warm-up guy is having lasagna in the green room, and the stage is just empty. So there's about 500 people in the studio on BBC, and I'm just going, thanks very much, I'm done. I walk off.
When you walk in and he's sitting eating the lasagna, is there that like...
No, I didn't know that till afterwards.
Oh, right.
Because I walk off stage and there's like a load of producers with headsets, and they're like, Andrew, you've come off a bit early. And I went, no, I saw me light. Yeah. And because I thought to myself, I thought I'd done, like in my head, that was a 20-minute set.
Yeah.
Like, but then I realised that, that's 20 minutes maybe in a club.
Yeah.
But on a TV record, it might only be about 15.
See, I had the opposite of this, whereas you know with the new comedy awards, you have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
On the final, that's what we were allowed, 5 minutes each. I did 10.
Oh God. See, I'd be furious.
I didn't realise I'd done that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like that. I normally never.
No, not like furious of like you overrunning, but
Yeah.
I'd be furious because maybe the judges might hold that against you because you've not stuck because I've heard of stuff where if you go over the time, they penalise you.
I would imagine so. Probably did get penalised for it, but it was also I had such good fun.
Yeah, well,
and also with the right people watching, it wasn't like I did 10 and I was like dying and going over it. Kind of like it was like, well, he's doing well.
Oh man, I hate it when someone overruns and they're dying. It's cringy.
It's bad enough when they overrun, but you're like, Joe, he's having a good time, and they're still laughing.
Joe, he needs this.
Yeah.
He needs this rejection. He needs to learn.
Yeah. When they're having a good time and they're going over, it's like it's okay. When they're dying and they're going over, you're like, you're making my job harder.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like this Russell Howard thing, like I enjoyed the gig. I came off and I was told that I came off early. The stage is empty. But the warm-up guy gets called. He comes back, and I've done warm-up myself. I know what it's like, TV warm-up.
It looks like the most painful job.
Oh, yeah, he runs back on. He was like, did you enjoy Andrew? And they're all like, well, give me a cheer or whatever. And he goes, listen, there's some timing issues here. Andrew's just going to come back on because I have to walk back on now like a fucking idiot.
Oh.
And there's 300 people going, and there's crew running around. Russell Howard is like, I don't know where he is because he has to come back on afterward and close the show. And it's never happened before. They told me it never happened before. I was like, well, I looked at the light. Yeah. I saw the right, but I looked at the wrong light. There was 2 lights. But anyway, I think I looked at the fire exit light. It's like a red fire exit thing. So I walked back on. Now, bear in mind, I was sweating. I was panicking. I felt ashamed. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've messed this up. I've messed this up. So what I did was I was like sweating and I was rubbing my hand in my hair. So all my hair got messed up. So the continuity from the first 15 minutes and then the last
just cut back and you're sweating inexplicably for 5 minutes.
So I walked back on it and listened I messed up the time, but listen, you want more? Do you want more? And I was trying to ad-lib my way back into the set.
Yeah.
And I
trying to make it out like you're getting an encore. Like, you people want more of this. Yeah.
But you know what? The power of editing, it looks perfect.
Yeah. It's
crazy how it works.
When I did it, I even got thrown off, and obviously the average person won't know, but when you do your set, say you do 10 minutes, and it kind of gets edited down, and you're like, oh, I feel weird that little bits have been cut, and it feels like I'm just jumping from point to point. I look like I'm very scatterbrained, but that's just the way it's been edited.
Yeah, it is stuff. It is tricky like that when I remember doing a show for BBC Three live at the Edinburgh Festival, and you do 7.5 minutes, and only 2.5 go out on telly.
Right.
And I did the bit and I went, oh, I really enjoyed this gig, it was really good. And then they just put out the 2.5 minutes that I didn't want of the 7-minute bit. I went, there's a bit in there that's like 3 minutes long, and if they get it right, it'd be a nice little chunk, and they just used the other bits around it. And I went, oh no, that wasn't the bit I wanted. And I was like, because you can't control it.
You can ask and you can say your preference, but at the end of the day, it is the producer who goes, I'll tell you what I'm putting on.
And then also, if you do a gig, like a slot, I did a slot once and it didn't go well. I'm not going to lie. And there was a lot of people there and there was cameras there and it did not go well.
Where was this?
Live at a Comedy Store in Comedy Central, and I came off afterwards and I went to the producer, can I come back next week and do it again? I just didn't work. Like, I wasn't good. I wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the craft, the stage craft, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, that was great. Anyway, it came out on telly anyway, and I did 15 minutes to be edited down to 4 minutes, or so there was 8 minutes in total with 2 different segments. I got one clip of 2:45 or something. And there's a bit in there when I raised my hand, you just see the sweat coming down, because I was up there going, this isn't working, but just pretend I'm smashing it. But you know what? I heard this story about a guy. This happens a lot now in comedy. We'll come off comedy now very, very quickly. But when you're starting out, right, there's a lot of people, they feel they don't put in the graft. Like I moved to England, like doing comedy and was traveling and all that. But I heard a story about a guy once. He was going around doing 10 spots in the clubs in England, right? You know, like the Lees and the Stands and all that. The kind of circuit that you do, to be seen, to progress. And he turned up at a gig and he was to do 10 minutes on a pro night. Like, there's maybe 250 people in the audience. So, this is a big club and there's a lot of bookings. If you do well, you can get invited back and potentially move your way up to paid weekends and all that. You need to do 10 minutes, but he did 28.
Fuck my face.
He did 28 minutes. So he's gone over by 18 minutes. And apparently what he said to the bookers were, look, I just wanted to let you know that I have a 30-minute in me. So they just went, really? And that guy was never seen again.
No.
Talk about disrespecting the rule. Like, it's basically, if you're booked to do a job, you do your job, or do something. But to disrespect the whole night.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I overrun.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm booked to do 20, I might do 21, 22. But I wouldn't. But then, a minute and 2 minutes is
that's fine. Yeah, I give people with a 5-minute leeway, really, and that's being generous and be like, okay, wrap it up.
Yeah.
But like 20 minutes over is insane.
And then someone dying, and then they try to rescue it by asking questions. Anyone on Facebook? You're just like, I counted a comedian once. He asked the audience 27 questions in 20 minutes set. I was like, there's no material there. It's literally just a guy asking questions.
Yeah.
So you kind of just go, And then when you actually take away the questions and you see what they say, there's nothing there. You know?
I love how as comedians that we're all very laid back and chill kind of people normally. Yeah. But if you do something that like just breaks a comedy rule. We're all like, how fucking dare you?
Yeah. I love the way how you say, how fucking dare
How
you.
fucking dare. Yeah.
Can you do a Southern Irish accent?
I don't think I can.
Have
How would you say there?
Like you're are you Belfast born and bred? Or I know you're Dundonald, aren't you? Or what?
Well,
are you?
yeah,
What are you?
Dundonald's on the outskirts of Belfast, but I was born in East Belfast.
Whereabouts?
Originally from Craigie.
Don't have a clue.
So that is like where George Best, that's where he's from.
Oh right.
That's where the estate he was raised in.
So you're from the same estate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does any of his family still live there?
I was very young, so I can't remember.
Would your parents know about it? Your family?
Fuck no. No, I'm an orphan, so I couldn't even ask them. Not Germany.
Are you genuinely an orphan?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, little disabled
So
orphan.
you're
class.
a little disabled.
I'm a little disabled
What do
orphan.
you mean? Are you disabled?
Yeah. Andrew, you've done very little research.
I actually know a few things about you that I was going to bring up later, but I didn't know about the disability.
Oh yeah.
What's your disability?
Cerebral palsy.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that must be, obviously, how challenging is that, like, for you, like, daily?
It's the kind of thing of, I don't know why I've rolled up, like I was going to show you.
I'm just going to roll up and show you how it works.
Yeah. Like I just have scars down my arm there. It's not noticeable to a lot of people. It's only when I get tired quickly.
See, I didn't notice it now about you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Here's the thing, when I was younger, my mum was always like, just a very mum thing of like, don't let people know you're disabled. So a lot of people with cerebral palsy, their hands will come up like a little T-Rex. Right? It's a that's because our muscles tighten. So we have to focus on keeping our arm down. Otherwise, our arms and legs will sort of hook up like that.
It's mad.
When I was a kid, my mum would just stop it.
Oh, wow.
Which sounds nasty, but it wasn't like it was just she would sit and just slap my hand down. And that's why I don't carry my hand like that.
Yeah.
She just slapped the disability out of the hand.
Wow, but it's painful cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
And you take medication for that?
You're meant to. I'm just not a fan of like doing. I won't even take paracetamol if I'm hungover. I'm so terrified that I'll become hooked on like painkillers.
Paracetamol?
Yeah, because I'm so
I could just see
addictive
you
to
in
anything.
a couple of years, like William Thompson. Where did it all begin? Well, it started with Nurofen.
Yeah.
And then it went to Nurofen Plus, and the addiction just got out of hand.
I'm going to be banned from all Gordon's chemists across the country.
I go in and go, can I have 20 packs of paracetamol? I'll buy one and just go to 20 chemists and buy, you know what I mean? Like, they're only allowed to give you like one pack.
Yeah.
You walk in and go, 20, what do you want? And a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long night.
It's crushing up paracetamol. I'm like, I need it, my hands.
You talk about cerebral palsy.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I enjoy that it's not noticeable because it gives me that unique perspective of being disabled and people don't notice
It's like a hidden disability.
Yeah, it's essentially a hidden disability.
Yeah.
So I get material on being disabled and the sort of preconceived notions of
Have you
what
got a
that should
blue
be.
sticker?
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
It's class. Yeah. People all say that, be like, "Oh, I wish I had one of those." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you can."
Have you ever had people confront you about it? Because, like with respect, like you don't look like you have cerebral palsy, which I suppose it's a hidden disability, which disabilities are.
Yeah.
But you have the blue badge. You park up in Asda, Tesco, whatever. What's happened?
You do just get people coming over and being like, "Why are you parking so close there?" And you're because I'm disabled, and they're like, "Well, I don't see anything wrong with you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, the fuck's that have to do with
But
anything?
why would you want to? Who are these people that check that? You know the mentality of checking that.
Same people who comment under like newspaper articles online.
Yeah,
just people who are
the same people that go like, the government are out to get us. They're not, man.
Yeah.
No.
Those psycho fucks.
Oh,
do you know what I
man.
mean?
Like,
who are just morally policing everything. That's who you'd get.
I find that I find those people fascinating. Like, I really do. You know, like somebody that thinks, I remember I saw one last year. No, I don't have Twitter or anything, but I saw one last year in Bristol in England. There was a protest, and they pulled down a statue of a slave owner.
Yeah,
maybe about 2 years ago, and they got the statue and they threw it into the river. And apparently, a guy sent a tweet to somebody and said, "If this statue isn't pulled out of the river, me and my mate are coming down with a boat and we're doing it and we're putting it back up." And everyone was like, "Fucking do it!"
Yeah.
Like everyone was just like, as if you're sitting in the house somewhere in England, you're going to go, "I'm going to get that fucking thing out of it." Just
Ringing your
commenting.
bird. You still have that boat? Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Get this done.
Well, I want to. Yeah, I've lost my train
That's
of
such an
thought.
aggressive way to deal with littering. It's
Oh,
like, I'll
it's
fucking
crazy,
do it.
man. Like, it's absolutely crazy, like, how people work with it. But I don't understand why people, police those spots. You know, like the parent and child bit.
Yeah.
Like, all that kind of stuff. I just find out, like, really, you've got enough better things to be doing in your life than, like, judging that kind of stuff. But it's just fucking weirdos, mate. People have too much time in their hands. And
But people, I notice it yourself when you're disabled. You'll get judged either way. You'll get people noticing your disability, get judged based on that. Or if you... I'll do material about being disabled, and people think I've made it up, like it's some kind of character, and I'm like, I would lie about other things on stage. I'm not going to make that up. That's a weird thing to just invent.
Yeah, and also you know, you if you did make it up, people will find out you've got a blue badge, and then they're on to the local council. Like, William Thompson's parking too close to Amsterdam this week. You know, to get rid of him. Yeah. So you're from East Belfast. So obviously, would you go to the south much?
I have only for gigs. So I've been to Galway, I've been to Dublin, I've been to Limerick, I've been to Ballinamore.
Ballinamore, where's that?
A good question.
I don't Google
know.
it.
Yeah, let's Google
Ballinamore, what county is it in?
I don't even know. I just know it was the Ballinamore Comedy Festival. If I can.
Amore.
Yeah.
It's about a small town in Leitrim.
Leitrim?
Oh, Jesus, I've never been to Leitrim.
Alright, so I've been to Leitrim.
Oh, you went to Leitrim. You're literally 5 miles over the border. Have you been down south? I went 5 miles over the border. And I now call myself, an expert in all things southern.
In my mind, that gig took so much longer because I didn't get home till late at night, like 2-3 in the morning.
Well, it's an awkward drive.
Yeah, it's a really awkward drive, but I ran out of petrol. So had to sleep outside a petrol station.
How'd you run out of petrol?
I just didn't put any petrol in. I've brain damage, Andrew. I don't remember
William,
things.
let me talk to you about how cars work.
The government just gives me one.
The government give you a car?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, right, okay. I was thinking to myself, this cerebral palsy thing is really working out for you. When the red light comes on and says petrol light, that's when you're supposed to put petrol. What happened?
Yeah, I think I done it. The petrol light came on the way down. I was like, fuck it, I'm nearly there. I'll get it on the way back. I'll get the petrol on the way back. And then didn't pass the petrol station. And then...
You're in Leitrim?
Leitrim, yeah. Didn't pass one.
Do you know Leitrim in the mid-2000s got their first ever set of traffic lights? In the mid-2000s.
What the fuck? Well, there you go. That's why
they had pedestrian lights, but it was the first time they had traffic lights for like a crossroads. Yeah. And it was on the RTE news saying like Leitrim has got their first set of proper traffic lights. And everyone was like, oh my God.
Welcome to the 20th
century.
So
if you're driving around Leitrim looking for petrol...
Yeah. That's how you end up sleeping
outside
a petrol station in Lisburn.
Yeah. So you only got back as far... Did you think you were going to make it to like Apple Green on the Lisburn Road?
I did, yeah. I thought, surely... not even that far. I was like, I'll surely get one. I'll see a petrol station on the way.
So when you're driving it, you kind of go to yourself, and you feel the car chucking?
Nah, I could see it just getting... Like it was counting the miles, how much I have left. It was like a wee electronic display.
Yeah.
And it was getting lower and lower and lower. So I had to end up Googling maps. I was like, I've 8 miles left. Where's a petrol station within 8 miles? And I'll just drive to that. But then by the time I got there, it wasn't open.
Yeah.
So I had to just sit in the car.
But when you're driving, if you drive at like 50 miles an hour, it actually saves more petrol.
Does it? See, I thought it was the opposite. I thought the faster you drive... No, the more it uses, I genuinely thought that.
No, the faster you drive, the more petrol you use. Yeah, if you're driving 80 miles an hour, you're going to burn through.
Right, yes, yeah.
But if you drive at 55, keep her at 55, and you tend to, have better miles to the gallon then.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm ever low on petrol, I always just zip her into 55. Stay in the right lane, obviously, piss people off.
Yeah.
And obviously, don't do that. But just do that, like, fucking, just like... You try and drag it out as much as possible.
So I'll do that drive slower thing. If someone's right up my hole, flashing lights, beeping the horns, trying to get you to go faster, that's where I'm like, we're doing 20 on this motorway, mate. I'm going to teach you fucking manners today.
Oh, man. There's nothing worse than road rage, man.
I have it so bad.
There's nothing worse. I'm quite a patient driver in terms of like, if somebody's up my ass, I just, in my head, mentally, I just go, well, maybe he's on the way to the hospital. So allow for that. That's why why he or she is in a rush. Maybe they're on the way to a hospital. And then that's how I try and compartmentalize how I try and justify that they're just not being a dick.
Yeah.
But I get sometimes stuck on rabbit holes on YouTube. Do you ever do that? Like Russian road rage. And these guys are kicking the shit out of each other on the side of the road. You're like, oh, this is quality.
Anytime there's Russian in the title, it's 2 massive bald men beating the fuck out of each other. That's the best fights you'll see.
Oh, brilliant
Not
stuff.
in the street in Belfast, nah.
Have you seen Russian bar fights?
Yes.
On YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, if you want a bit of entertainment, go down a rabbit hole for Russian bar fights. These are tough videos to watch.
That's what I'll watch. Like if all your mates are around drinking, smoking, you're like, what should we put on YouTube? It's Russian bar fights.
Russian bar fights or Russian road rage or something like that. Oh, my favourite one is one punch knockouts.
Oh, they're the best. They're
You
the
just see
best.
them like, man gets owned.
Yeah.
And he's walking around and he's saying some like daft racist shit, and then people come over and just go, "Doof." And it's just like, you just see them fall to the ground, and somebody put up a clip the other day and goes, emotional damage.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love the ones too where someone's just yapping and they're yapping, and then the person just snaps and like uppercuts them.
Oh.
And they just leave the fucking ground.
Yeah, that's mad.
Those are the best.
So you've done Dublin, Leitrim, Galway.
Yeah.
So you've never actually gone to Munster.
No.
So you've never been to Cork.
Never been to Cork in my life.
So what do you think of going down south anyway?
There's certain places I like it, and other places I don't. I've never loved Dublin. Anytime I've done
Well,
it.
I'm from Cork, and
Yeah.
I feel I can agree with that
Yeah,
statement.
yeah, I get the feeling Dublin isn't loved. Galway is one of the nicest places on earth, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I love Galway. I only know a handful of people from Cork. I feel like if I went to Cork, they'd find me a bit fucking much.
Really?
But
I
don't know.
think so.
I think they'd find me just a bit. This is based on nothing, also, but just because they're quite,
If you went to
laid-
Cork and they wouldn't find you much, I think the first thing they'd ask is, when are you going back?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I think like people like, I think the north in the south, like I think people are just generally interested. You
Yeah.
know, I think a lot of people in Ireland have a perception of the north, and now that I live here, it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's actually a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
Which is why when we go down south, we're always like, it's not fucking like that.
yeah.
It's-
But would you feel comfortable down in the south? Like to me, it's just like another place. Don't really give a shit. Or
Well,
the money changes. You have to learn different systems and stuff like that. Like, or do you not spend enough time down there to really or?
No, I would be there. Like, no, I'm not down there loads, but there's nowhere I would feel just different money and stuff. There's nothing I would feel dramatically uncomfortable about. Like where I'm from, obviously in East Belfast, I notice the flags are different because we notice stuff like that because
Yeah.
it's bred fucking India. But I'm in a different country. Of course, it's got to be different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not as drastically different when you go over to say England. Do you know what I mean? I find England to be a bigger shift than down south.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I've only been in bigger cities and down south though. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been in wee small villages and stuff.
That's mad because obviously, I like London and all those places. Like I don't really count London as England.
No,
It's just a massive place in the world.
clusterfuck of people. Like
But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And but then when I go to Glasgow, it just reminds me of Belfast.
So, yeah, I love Glasgow.
Like Glasgow is like Belfast's first cousin that got a job
Yeah.
and moved abroad. But just the link between Glasgow and Northern Ireland and Scotland and Northern Ireland, they're practically first cousins.
They are.
You know what I mean? Like you probably have more in common with Glasgow people than you do with somebody from Kerry.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. We are if you go on holiday as a Northern Irish person and you hear a Scottish accent, you'll be mates with them.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it?
You will just be mates with them, and then you'll hear an English accent. You'll both be like fucking wankers everywhere you go.
Oh, look at this guy trying to be friends with us.
Yeah. But get the fuck, like don't come over here with your shit, Potter. Get out of here.
I know, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. One thing, when you were growing up here in Belfast, what do you think was the thing that made you want to get into comedy?
I just always watched it. Do you know why when I was younger, like you would have a DVD or a video as a nightlight?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You go to bed, here's your video. Mine was Peter Kay.
Yeah.
When I was like 4 or 5.
Live at the Bolton Albert Hall.
That's the exact one, big purple shirt.
Yeah.
I would watch
and
that.
eat balloons on the side of the chair, didn't he?
Yeah. Looking back now,
I lost 17 stone in a day.
that video was like at the time when DVDs fucking mattered.
Yeah.
Like who gives a shit now about DVDs? But that was massive, and I just my parents would let me stay up late sometimes. Watch Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a gear change, like from Peter Kay to Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
It was almost like you're allowed to stay up late and watch this, like a little bit ruder.
But a completely different comedy.
Yeah. I
know
just
what I mean?
loved all comedy. Always. That's what I would watch.
Would you be a fan of Father Ted?
Love Father Ted.
Yeah.
Love Father
Father
Ted.
Ted was the thing that got me into comedy.
Black Books was a big fan of. Just anything. Like,
There was a radio show in Ireland called Scrap Saturday,
Right.
that Dermot Morgan did before Father Ted, and it was a radio show, and he used to like impersonate Irish politicians, and I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s, and it was on every Saturday morning, and that was the first thing that got me into comedy, because I remember being driven to like Gaelic football training and on a Saturday morning, and it would come on, and he would do impressions of like Charlie Hawley, who used to be a Taoiseach in Ireland and ended up being...
Is that how you say that?
What?
Say it, Taoiseach?
Taoiseach.
Taoiseach?
Taoiseach. You know,
Taoiseach?
you've heard that before, obviously.
I've heard it.
You've Taoiseach and Taoiseach.
I've never heard
So-
of a Taoiseach. Is that president?
No, that's like deputy prime minister.
Right.
So the
Because I
Taoiseach.
said this on Tom O'Malley's podcast the other
Yeah.
day and called him a Taoiseach because I didn't know what
No,
it was saying.
Taoiseach.
Taoiseach.
Yeah, we don't say prime minister or what did they use in Belgium? Premier.
Yeah.
They use like premier in Europe, prime minister in England, and in Ireland we use Taoiseach.
Taoiseach.
And then the number 2 is the Taoiseach.
Right.
Taoiseach. Taoiseach. Can you speak any Gaelic? No interest. You're from East Belfast.
I was about to you really are new.
expect you to sit here and be like, oh, shut
They set up a Gaelic football team in East Belfast and its training was threatened to be bombed 3 times.
Really?
And that was last year.
I've seen the picture. I've driven past it.
Yeah.
And I just say to myself, if that is still there in 5 years' time, whoever set that up should go to the Middle East because they will be able to sort out that crisis. If you can put a GAA club in East Belfast, the UN should be recruiting you.
Send that fucker to Palestine.
Send that guy to Palestine. Well, lads,
Yeah.
let me explain how it is. We need to put in a Gaelic pitch
Yeah.
down the Gaza Strip. Palestinians and Jewish people, let's come together.
Yeah. Then a
15
Gaelic.
aside, right? You're half back, like no problem. I genuinely think if whoever put up the East Belfast GA pitch should get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was such. It's one of those things. Like even people I knew were angry about it, and people who I knew weren't bigoted. Well, until that came out, and they were raging, and I'm like, why do you give a fuck? But it was a big thing in East Belfast. They're like, how dare they play this game up here?
Unbelievable.
It would blow your from down south where you don't have that contention.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad up here anymore. Like my life would be different from what Paddy grew up in.
Yeah.
But like there's still certain things that people don't like. There's people who don't like outright Irishness and people who don't like
Really?
outright Britishness.
Outright Irishness.
Oh yeah. Like I personally wouldn't describe myself as Irish. But I wouldn't say British either.
I'm just a legend.
Yeah. I'm
What
just
are
me.
you? What are you?
I would say
Northern Irish?
Northern Irish.
You're just Northern-
I feel it's a different thing.
Are you like trying to do the Rory McIlroy line where I'm just from Northern Ireland?
Not even a line. That's me. Like I just have nothing in common with like a lot of British people or indeed a lot of Irish people.
You're just your own entity.
I'm just I think Northern Irish
you-
is its own wee thing.
So have you got a British and Irish passport then?
No, I only have a British one. Only have a British one. I need to get an Irish one, but if I'm fine with it, I need to get
it, man. Just
I need to
because-
get an Irish one for going abroad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they capture a Brit,
You're
fucked.
entitled to one, so get one.
Yeah. If they capture a Brit, you're fucked. If they capture an Irishman, they're like, you're all right.
It's
That's what I
strange,
need
isn't it,
one.
how it works, man?
Yeah.
Paddy was telling me about that as well. Like, you see, the thing is, like, I don't really know. Like, I from living in London and living around so many nationalities, like I just be like, whatever, I don't really. The identity issue isn't something that really comes into my head because my identity has never really been challenged or under threat or questioned, or because growing up in Cork, you're just from Cork.
You're just there, yeah.
Yeah, like whereas growing up here, it's like, well, I'm actually this and I'm in this place, and you're kind of fighting for your identity to be recognised and respected or whatever. I don't want to kind of get into it, but like for such a small island, like how people down south, like for something that's 2 hours, an hour 50 up the road from Dublin, like the change. And I just find it insane that, people down the south kind of, seem to sometimes, not all people, but sometimes like, oh, can't be arsed dealing with the Northerners, man. The Nordies, man, they're all wild, they're weird, they're all fighting. Like I used to write jokes about Northern Ireland, living in Northern Ireland, where I'd say like, oh, people think living in Northern Ireland is all sectarianism and hatred and people are fighting. It's not like that at all. There's actually racism and homophobia as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a normal place.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like sometimes people are like, oh yeah, it's just a normal, like Belfast I feel so comfortable here.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't go around flag waving.
The way you went, it's all racism and transphobia, and then you just went, and I feel so comfortable here.
No, but like every city has,
Yeah.
their racism, their homophobia, their,
We're just
problems.
very 70s with ours.
Yeah.
We'll write it on a flag and like fly it.
I just
and
don't
you're
get
like,
it.
That word looks a lot harsher written down.
Yeah,
doesn't
but I just don't like. I can't. I don't have skin in the game. Like I'm not picking a side. I
Yeah.
live in East Belfast, but someone asked me recently, do you go and watch Gaelic football down in East Belfast? I was like, no, I don't even go and watch Gaelic football in Cork.
Yeah.
So why would I go to East Belfast to make a political point? Like,
Yeah.
No, I'll go and watch Ulster play rugby.
Yeah.
Because I like rugby, and I might go to a soccer match. I
Yeah.
don't know, and I don't care which team I go and see
Yeah.
just to watch a soccer match. But I'm not going to go down and wear a GA top in East Belfast because I wouldn't even do that anyway.
I do. They fit me well. I like they like.
So what you should do is turn up with a Gaelic football top with draped in a British flag and watch people lose their minds.
I feel I'm the only one can get away with that because I'm kind of known in East Belfast, but I'll wear a Gala top and they're looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it was free. I get given free things. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah. One thing I thought was really funny when they brought you on at the Fela.
Yeah.
That music.
I
watched that. That was really funny, man. They got you bad there, like.
Oh yeah. What that was in revenge for, which I didn't initially say at the clip, was when I brought Paddy out years ago in my first solo show. He was doing warm up for me, and I brought him out to "Simply the Best" by Tina Turner. But in Belfast and Glasgow,
why would "Simply the Best" be an issue?
Protestants do this thing up in the north where we don't have like our own. Like our Wolf Tones or our Furies, we don't have tunes like that. We just take what's popular and we remix it.
Oh, so "Simply the Best" is deemed a song for the Protestants up here.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, in between the beat where it goes, my heart's on... I call when I need you, my heart's on fire. We slip in just a little line where it says, fuck the Pope and the IRA. And then they sing the next bit. And then we say it again. And then we sing something about the UVF in the chorus. And that is what Protestants do. We do it for Sweet Caroline as well. We'll slip in some sectarianism in between the lines.
I did not know that.
Yeah. What's the other one? I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. That's another one
I
you
think
can't
We're
really
Alone
play in
Now was
Belfast. But yeah, so like what's the tune I Think We're Alone Now? Do you know the song? It's like, I think we're alone now.
Yeah.
We change it to, and this isn't me wrote the song, I'm just telling you what it is. We change it to, we hate Catholics, everybody hates Roman Catholics. Now, we'll sing that. We don't mean it. It's just a bit of
crack.
It's a bit of crack. The same way I would come out to Paddy playing Ooh Ah Up the Rat Me.
Oh, Jesus.
You would play that at your one Catholic mate at the party, just to wind them up.
Like, I could never envisage doing anything like that anywhere outside of Belfast. You get away with it here, wouldn't you?
It's expected here, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, do you know what? A lot of people, when they would do the kind of gigs me and Paddy do, because we do our big gigs, but we also do some very fucking, like, in the heart of Ardoyne, you'll have me on, and Ardoyne's a very staunchly Republican, proud to be Republican area, and I'm a Protestant. There's still some places where hear you be a Protestant and be like, don't like him. Whereas we'll go there and we'll double down on it and we'll start being sectarian to them. And
that's how you kind of get them over.
You just.
So is that? Would you recommend that's how I start my gigs in Northern Ireland?
Yeah.
Just walk out like, "Hi guys, how are you? Do you like my Bobby Sands t-shirt?"
So you'll get a cheer from my people. We'll like that.
Oh God, I never thought it was like that. Like, I mean, I would never. But then again, you know, that's I suppose the culture up here, and also it's very sort of like it's kind of given to you from a very young age about you, where you fall in the on the side of things. You know?
But don't get me wrong. It's not the same as like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, before I was born, where it'd be like you wouldn't speak to that side, or you know you wouldn't go 5 minutes up the road because.
But you're fine. Like you're like I suppose you're kind of the generation we go, look, to you it's probably a bit of crack now.
Yeah.
It's slagging and it's a laugh and a joke.
Yeah, until we're all a bit drunk and one person just goes, "See you British," and you're like, "Right, that's it, time to go home."
Yeah, but
he
like
means this.
You can get that everywhere though.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten stuff. I got slapped in England once for being Irish. This guy just slapped me.
Fucking what?
Because this English guy just slapped me. He was like, "You fucking Irish," just slapped me, and I went, "All right."
I mean, if anything, we'roed the free slap.
Yeah, so
that's
like,
how I changed it to "we" when the English.
Honestly, like I've not.
So
had,
he just came up to you, no words.
No, I was in a bar, and but it was many years. It was like 2009, and he heard me talk, and he was drunk, like one of these, clearly unhappy guy, and he heard me talking, and he just started banging on about Ireland and how crap it was and all that. And I've never been in a fight in my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Since I got out of prison. I've never been in a fight, right? I've never been in prison either, okay?
You in prison would be like just not paying parking tickets, I'd assume.
Yeah, just approaching people with blue stickers and going, "Are you actually disabled?"
Yeah.
That'd be me.
You shouldn't have followed him home, right? You're going to jail.
Just wanted to make sure he had a stair lift.
Yeah.
But anyway, he just slapped me, and nothing really happened. The bouncer, like, he just kind of hit me, and I called the bouncer, and he got dragged out and all that. But I was just like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
But then again, like the following morning I woke up, I thought it was quite funny because it was a first time experience happening. And then about 3 weeks later, I got really angry about it. I was like, I'm going to find this fella. No, I'm going to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know. So like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like different. It's different for all of us. But the thing about it is that I find living up here now is it doesn't matter where. Like I live in East, and I mean, it couldn't be nicer.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. I want to ask that. How you find this as a people?
People are brilliant, genuinely. Massive fan of Northern Irish people. Not a massive fan of the shouting.
Yeah.
You shout a lot, and also Northern Irish people always talk about their daddies. I've noticed this. My wee daddy.
My daddy.
Daddy. The way you don't say dad or da.
No,
or in Cork you might say old man.
Yeah.
Do you ever say old man up here?
No.
Where's your old man?
Yeah.
That's like a phrase for where's your dad.
Yeah.
Whereas up here it's like my wee daddy. All I hear is daddy, my wee daddy, my daddy, my wee daddy. And I'm like, fucking.
Because I've seen 40-year-old men pick up the phone and go, hello, daddy. And
Yeah, daddy.
That weirds me out. I don't say it.
What about daddy?
You say daddy, and Paddy says daddy.
I say mommy too.
Yeah. Fucking
I used
weirdos.
to call my mum Ma. Ma.
I call...
We get slapped like.
So did I used to call my parents by their first name.
Well, did you?
I was a real shit.
Did you call him first name and surname as well? To really
No.
emphasize it?
No. Just, if I was talking with dad, I'd be like, yo, William. Talking to mum, I'd be like, yo, Cecilia. And she's like, I'm your mother. And I'm like, your name is Cecilia. So that's what you're getting called.
Yeah.
I used to do it with teachers too. Find out their first name and
Really?
just religiously call them it.
Oh, man.
And you'll get in trouble the first few times. And then eventually they're just like, right, he's not going to stop doing this. So
Yeah.
It's just a little hobby of mine. I enjoy fucking winding people up with little things. But yeah, it is a Belfast thing. They're like, daddy? Or, oh, mommy. They're like, oh, mommy.
Mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
And then wise, not wise. That's another phrase people use up here. Oh, he's not wise. And I was like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
I found out then, obviously, it means that you're kind of like, you make kind of mad decisions or a bit wacky.
Not wise could range from he's a little bit hyper to he's fully mentally disabled, but that's just how
I thought
we
it was
say
a little bit kind of like foolish and a bit sort of...
I know people with genuine disabilities and people would be like, he's not wise. I'm like, he is, just like leave him like he is.
Yeah. Whereas in Cork you'd say off your game.
Off your game?
Yeah, like see him, he's off his game.
Yeah. And what would a person who's off his game?
Like just someone that's a bit crazy, a bit mental, a bit over the top. You've Langer, you've heard that before.
I've heard Langer.
Langer, off your game. Mad in the head.
I've heard mad in
That's
the head.
quite common.
We would use that here
Would
too.
you use mad in the head?
Yeah, a bit mad in the head.
What else have you got in Cork?
Heads in the shed's a thing we use.
Heads in the sheds.
His fucking head's in the shed. Or his head's away.
He's a balloon.
He's a balloon.
Balloon.
He's a fuck. Not. It is balloon, but we don't say balloon. It's balloon. BLOON. He's all fucking balloon.
Balloon.
Balloon. It means balloon, but that's just how we pronounce it.
Wow. What? Like yeah, because like in Cork we'd say like fiend. When I was growing up, we'd say fiends a lot. Whereas here, how are the fiends?
What's a
It's
fiend?
like an abbreviation of fiendian. So you'd say like, all right, fiend, bye.
Yeah.
How's it going, fiend?
I like
That's when I was a kid. Now I haven't heard that for years.
Yeah.
But you'd say like, all right, fiend.
Yeah.
And then you can use like some Cork slang, so you can say like, girls sometimes would be called bures.
Bure?
Yeah, bures.
Is that Gaelic or what is that?
It's not Gaelic. No, it's just a slang term for. Like if you see a girl and you think she's attractive or something, you go, oh my god, look at her, she's a fine looking bure.
We are 2 hours away, and I'm
4 hours away.
4 hours away, and I'm like, this is a different fucking.
You know,
one.
you used to be able to fly from Belfast to Cork.
Yes.
Not anymore, but you know why not? Because of the plane crash.
I didn't know because I knew you used to be able to do it. When
You know there
was
was a plane crash. And,
No.
Yeah. So a flight from Belfast to Cork crashed in 2008 and like 8 or 9 people died.
It's a really fun podcast. Thanks for having me on, Andrew.
Yeah, we might actually take this one out. Right? So, how long have you been doing stand-up now, William?
I started when I was 17, so
17?
Yeah. I was still in school. That's one thing. I did my first gig, if I want to talk about that, the night my mum died.
You did your first gig the night your mum died?
Yes.
Right, so your mum died of cancer?
Yes.
Right, and you were 17?
Yes.
Wow, and how old was your mum when she passed?
39?
Wow.
Yeah, 39. It was a really... It was a fucking... She only got diagnosed in September and was dead by the start of January. It was fucking mental. But I still, I did my first gig that night.
So how did that come about? So your mum passed away. How did you have a gig? Like how did explain to me how that worked?
So I had a gig planned. So I've always been active on social media. I used to do like shit, like Facebook videos and social media stuff. So I had a bit of a name. So it was easy for me to make the jump into stand-up. I was always a fan of stand-up.
Yeah.
So I just booked, and the person had seen my videos now had a bit of a following. So they're like, yeah, we'll put him on. And then so I had the gig booked. Now my mum had rapidly got sick so quickly. Within like 3 months, she'd went from being completely fine to being bedridden, couldn't really move, couldn't really talk. So it was expected. And we did speak. I spoke about it with her. As like, because we know this is any day now. Like, I won't do it. And she's like, no, I know. Like, you should do it. It'll be good for you. And it was. It took my mind off everything around it and the funeral and stuff to be like, right, well, I'll just go and sit and write these fucking wee jokes.
Well, so your mum passes away. What time? Like in terms of when the gig was it
This
like
makes me
lunchtime
sound
or something?
awfully heartless. Yeah, about 11 in the morning. Yeah.
And you went on stage that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By 8, I'm on stage.
And you might. I don't think it makes you sound hurtful. Like my mum died on a Monday.
Yeah.
And I was on stage on a Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think unless you experience what you're experiencing, it's very hard for other people to kind of judge what you should and shouldn't do.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, so you lost your mum when you were 17.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
that's a really that's a tough hit, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
a
only
tough
now
hit.
that I'm older, I'm like, oh shit. Do
Yeah.
you realise like how young that is? At the time when
Yeah.
you're 17, 18, you're like, I'm fucking invincible.
I'm
going to Magaluf in the summer, no one can touch me.
And do you feel like you like obviously was it eight years ago now?
Yeah.
Right. So my mum's passed 2.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and like there isn't any time in the day where I don't think about her.
Oh, 100%.
It's insane, and everyone's different, and everyone does it in a different way and manages it in a different way. But I suppose the key thing is that 8 years ago, kind of being 17, were you fully aware of what was happening, or were you in kind of like my mum's ill, Ash should be grand?
No,
kind of thing,
I
or-
was fully aware because at the time it was only me, my sister, and I've lived together. And my dad had moved out the year previous to that, so we didn't live with my dad. So it was just the three of us. So when she got sick, I kind of had more roles to take on in the house. So you did become very aware of it. Do you know what I mean?
And
You
when
know,
your
so
mum-
like, there's a lot of people here in the house bringing soup.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
but you had like a good support network though.
You know, you have your friends and stuff, but I'm a very an unopen person emotionally, so I didn't speak about it ever. People would talk to me about it, and I would just say something like extremely dark, and not.
Well, that's a
speak about
coping mechanism, isn't
it.
it?
Yeah, it's humor. I don't do well. I think it's why I joke constantly, all the time. Don't
Yeah.
do well with sit down and seriousness. Can't do it.
Yeah. Did you ever go to therapy?
No, probably should have.
I did.
Not.
I did.
Did cocaine instead. Don't do that.
Did you ever go to therapy? Well, let me
Yeah.
talk to you about the little white
Yeah.
powder.
I went to Dr. Feelgood.
Wow, that's interesting. I went to therapy for 2 years after my mum died, and kind of thing about therapists is that like it was kind of good in a way, but she started giving me homework.
Yeah.
Like they would go, what I want you to do, Andrew, is when you get out of bed in the morning, I want you to make your bed. It's a sign of achievement and accomplishment. I'm like, I'm paying you to tell me to make me bed. Is this what I'm paying you for? I'm like, I'm in my 30s. I know how to make me bed, but it's all about it. It's about starting the day right and in a positive frame of mind. So I want you to make your bed. I walked into one therapy session one day and she goes, well, is your bed made? I went, what the hell is this? I want to hear her talk about my mum's death from cancer. I'm not here to talk about what kind of bed sheets I've got on.
Okay, go home, you make that bed, then you come back.
It's all about small gains. I'm like, anyway, but it seems obviously with my mum passing, it's amazing that you find out that this is such a common thing for people. And like the only thing I'm very lucky. I got my mum was 67 when she passed, and I got 35, 36 years out of her. In terms of being you got 17, and I'm very grateful. But I suppose, do you feel kind of a little bit sort of like how do I put this in the right way? Kind of not like up against it all the time, but sort of like, do you feel like you were dealt a bad hand and you were like, did you get angry about it?
Literally, yes.
I didn't mean it like that. I actually did not mean it like that.
No, it's fine.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I can't believe that came out of my mouth.
No. This is the first time we've met. We've never met before. I am this dark all the time.
Right, okay.
Sean will tell you this is just the normal thing.
I did not mean that.
Don't ever take anything me saying bad. Like I've taken it offensively because I don't. It's very funny. I mean you do, but you deal with that, and there's good and bad ways to deal with having a bad hand.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I'm like, well, it makes you go through an emotional ringer very young, and gives you a sense of emotional maturity that I feel other people my age don't have.
Yeah.
Which for stand up is extremely useful. Do you know what I mean?
You're more self-aware.
More self-aware. Yeah, you're more of an outsider to things, and the more you can sit back, it also gives you a little bit more of a different level to joke about things on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I think when my mom got cancer, I think that was when I actually matured.
Yeah.
Because I realised, right, shit's hitting the fan here.
Yeah.
And when my mom got cancer, I was like, right, you know, I changed my life and I moved home to be with her.
Yeah.
And I actually matured. And I know this sounds really terrible, but my mom getting cancer on a selfish planet was actually one of the best things for me. The worst thing,
I didn't mean to smile at that. It's just a funny sentence.
No, I know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
because it really made me stand up as a man.
Yeah.
Like, internally, no, I didn't get it right all the time, but my
Yeah.
point is that, like, and the worst thing that happened to me was my mom getting cancer.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, it's just, and people always say, like, oh, you now are doing a job that you love, which is being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Do you think you would still be doing that if your mom, if you didn't mature?
Yo, yeah, this was always what I wanted to do.
This was always what you wanted?
Always what I wanted to do, yeah. So that didn't change.
Right. So like, if anything, you were still on the same path.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
And how's the rest of your sister and and people in your family? How are they all doing?
Fine, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you get on with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I feel bad worse for her. She's dead young. She was 10. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of, like, you're dealing with a teenage girl that you're like, is a fucking nightmare anyway, but she has that on top of
Yeah.
being a teenage girl.
And do you live together?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
right.
live with my grandparents.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
How's that?
Fuck, they're old, man. So it's like, do you enjoy hearing the same things 8 times a day? That's what it's like. Where are you going? Going out for a gig tonight? Where's that? Up in East Belfast. Very good. I'll go in, lift something from
But I
our
tell you,
room.
man, you'll miss
What are you
the-
doing tonight? I'm going out tonight. Where is it? East Belfast. Go down and get my car keys. Oh, you going out, are you? And I'm like, fuck me. Yes. By the 5th time, you almost shout at them, and then you're like, I'm sorry. I know you don't know any better, but I've answered this question 4 times in 3 minutes.
But I tell you, man, when you get older, that's the stuff you'll miss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah.
I
It's
never-
funny. I take it as, like, I just laugh at it because I'm like, it is
I-
so absurd.
I never met any of my granddads.
Uh-huh.
They died. My mum's dad died in the 60s, and my other granddad died in the early 80s. And I've never. I'd love to have met them.
Yeah.
Are you living with your granny and granddad?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how old are they?
75 and 82.
Wow, they must have some stories, man.
I can't remember them, but I assume they do. My granddad's, he's a lovely man, but he's like the least interesting fucking person ever.
Is he?
To ever live. Yeah. He's very much into animals and stuff.
Oh,
like
right.
he breeds pigeons. He doesn't like try and ride dogs or something. He's just into animals. But like most of his stories involve him going to pigeon racing, or the time like he owned a dog, and I'm like, that's cool, like, but
That's not what
it's
you're
not
into.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So, in terms of this year now, with stand-up coming back, what's your kind of plan of action? You've got your podcast with Paddy.
Yes.
Which is Mudblood.
Mudblood podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, and you do that weekly as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and you do live shows and all that.
Yeah, we just did our first live tour before Christmas. We'll be doing our second live tour probably in the summer.
Yeah, and do you go over to England much?
On occasion. Normally just on tour with Shane or Paddy. I
Yeah.
would be in England. I wouldn't be big enough in England to do my own shows yet.
Yeah.
I will be in the Leicester Comedy Festival next month in February.
I'm actually there next month as well.
What day are you on?
I'm doing a Tuesday night at the Cookie.
I'm doing the 12th.
I'm doing the 9th. You're doing a Friday or third
yeah,
Friday.
Friday.
You're
Yeah,
doing a
yeah.
Friday. It's a great gig, great
Is it?
festival.
Yeah, because I'm
it's-
shit myself, but I haven't seen sales or anything, so I have no idea.
Oh
what's
no,
going
people
on.
just go. Don't worry about it. Oh no.
Oh,
no,
this
no,
has
no,
been a
no.
relief because I'm sitting here being like, I don't know what to
Oh,
do.
Friday night as well. It'd be great.
Yeah?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay,
Like,
then,
oh yeah.
except
Don't
the
worry.
Falcon.
What venue are you in?
I can't actually
That's the
remember.
worst venue.
Yeah.
whatever venue you were going to say, I was going to say that's the worst venue.
I can't remember. It's in the back of my head.
Don't worry about it. The Leicester Comedy Festival is a very well supported comedy festival.
Yeah, I'm taking over my work in progress show they'll be doing in Edinburgh this year.
Yeah.
Called Barely Noticeable. That is about my cerebral palsy.
There you go. And I did not know that because it was barely noticeable.
Exactly.
William, you are really nailing this comedy content.
Yeah. The reason it's called that too is because some online comedy publications, I'll give them the name of, wrote a review and didn't really say anything about me in the final. The only comment they had of me was like, oh, he does jokes about his barely noticeable cerebral palsy. And I was like, fuck you.
I would call the show Barely Noticeable Cerebral Palsy.
I just call it that and have that quote on
Yeah.
the poster with the people's name beside it. Because you said it. So I'm not saying you said something you didn't
You
say.
didn't say it, yeah.
Yeah, you exactly said that, so your name's going to be under that.
Oh yeah, I got the best quote for a poster ever after a gig. I did a Zoom gig, obviously, when we were on Zoom doing shows, and somebody was watching my Zoom performance, and then afterwards I ended up being involved in an email chain that I should not have been involved in, from audience members from the Zoom talking about the performer. And I was accidentally BCC'd in or whatever. And this is going on my poster, and this is the best comment I've ever had from somebody about my comedy. And it said, "I could not enjoy Andrew's performance as I was worried he might say something that could have upsetted me." What is that? So they already, they were worried that I might say something that could have upset them.
Yeah.
What is that?
What sort of anxious bastard is watching this?
But you know what the thing about it is
the
gig was for Irish Mental Health Week. I think it was the anxiety group, to be honest, which I was talking to.
It's just a suspicious person
anyway.
Yeah,
man, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But people are like that all the time. Like, I remember a guy who was doing a gig in Manchester once, and this other audience member came up to him and he said, "Oh, would you come and do my wedding?" And the guy was like, "Oh, I don't normally do weddings." And he was like, "How much do you want?" And the guy was like, "Oh, it's 300 quid." He goes, "I'm not paying you 300 quid for that shit." It's just like, you approached him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's absolutely insane.
Also, when someone says to you, "Do you want to do my wedding?" never say, "I don't normally do weddings." You go, "I'm class at weddings."
Yeah, I love weddings.
300 quid.
Yeah.
I do, to be fair. They're all right.
Are they good?
Yeah.
I got asked to do one. I said no.
No, do you not do them?
No, never do a wedding.
What? Worst thing in
Walking out. Oh, good evening. It's good to see John and Sarah. John on his first marriage. Sorry. Just like try and take the mick out of them. Is that, do you take the mick out of them, or you just do a set?
You leave the bride and groom. That's their special day. Maybe the groom. And maybe say he's punching.
Well, that's classic, isn't
never
it?
The bride. Never the bride. Everything's classic. You know what I mean? You'll just be like ripping everyone around you. You know, you'll sort of. It's a lot of crowd work, I find, with weddings. Not a lot of material.
Yeah,
you'll do about 30 minutes of just being like, "What are you doing?" Blah blah blah, and then you do a wee bit of material, and then you're back to the crowd. Yeah. It's manic, but I enjoy doing them.
I think I wrote one joke for a wedding once, which was. This is the third time this couple have tried to get married because of COVID. Well, they said it was COVID, but we all know the reasons why this was delayed.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, John? And then just leave that hang in the air.
And how'd that go?
Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you at his next wedding. And just walk out the door like...
It's one of those gigs you're like, I'm very much a people pleaser tonight, so I'll try not to be too upsetting. I'll be swearing.
Do you swear?
I mean,
I wouldn't swear.
If you're booking me... you know I'm going to be swearing, because this is how I talk all the time.
Can you work clean?
I can work clean, but I lose my rhythm, but I can do it.
I work clean.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I can work clean.
I can work clean. The BBC shows are about as clean as you're getting me.
Yeah.
I may say the odd fuck. If you really don't want me to say fuck, I won't, but I want to. Yeah. It's how... You live in East Belfast, this how everyone talks? Really?
Well, I don't really go out that much in East Belfast, to be honest. I go get my coffee. No, I'm not here on holiday. I actually live here. All the best. Every time I go down, you know.
I once saw a kid in Collinswater Shopping Centre drop something. He said shit, and his ma hit him and went, "Watch your fucking mouth."
There you go. Well,
that's the kind of...
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. So, William, it's lovely to meet you, man. I've seen your stuff, man. You're doing really well, and I tell you, man, you're going to have getting over to England a bit more in a podcast and all that, like, and we hopefully. We are working together at the start of February, aren't we?
We are.
We are working at the Empire Comedy Club, which is on Botanic Avenue, every Tuesday night. It's back starting this Tuesday. And it's I think it's a phenomenal club, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's a
lovely
great club. Room.
I'm one of the resident hosts there, but we're on together on the 2nd of February. The first Tuesday in February, I think it's the 2nd of February. Let me just check. The 2nd of February, we're on, and we're hosting.
Is it the first? It's the first.
Is it the first or the second? It's the first.
It is the first. It is the first.
The 1st of February at the Empire Comedy Club. Come down, you see me and William and another guest as well.
Yes.
But William, thanks very much for joining us in Cork the North. Really love to meet you.
Thank you for
having me. We'll have you back on again soon. And thanks. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do. You just do it. Just do it. Okay. Thank you.